Welcome to TalkersOfGeeks.com. Justin here, back with more graphic novel reviews. And today we're back in the DC universe with Unearthed, a Jessica Cruz story, which is the DC YA graphic novel. Just like I'm Not Starfire, we're going to review it today. But at first, here is a brief synopsis, as always. So here we go. Jessica Cruz has done everything right. She's a dedicated student, popular among her classmates, and has a loving family that has done everything they can to give her a better life in the United States. While Jessica is a part of Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, allowing her to go to school and live in the U.S., her parents are undocumented. Jessica usually worries for her parents, but her fears and anxieties escalate as the mayoral candidate with a strong anti-immigration stance runs for office. As the xenophobia in the coast city increases, Jessica begins to debate whether it's worth renewing her status to stay in the U.S. or if her family will be safer and better off moving back to Mexico. And despite her attempts to lean on her friends and family, she finds herself constantly visited by visions of Aztec gods, one pulling herself towards hope and the other towards anger. But when her father is detained by ICE, Jessica finds herself being pulled into an abyss of fear. With her father gone and feeling helpless, Jessica must find her way out of her fears and ultimately become a voice for her community. Let me just get this right off the bat. For those hardcore DC Green Lantern fans and those who are Jessica Cruz fans that thinking they're picking this up and they're going to see Jessica on another galactic adventure, this is not the case. This is not a Green Lantern story. Yes, it has a Green Lantern character, but this is definitely not a Green Lantern story. My suggestion is to pick up another book that has Jessica in her whole Green Lantern attire and doing Green Lantern things. This is a character study on a woman and her fear. In fear. Basically, the whole theme of this whole book is fear. And for Jessica Cruz, her fear is her family being separated from a family and being separated due to ICE and dealing with xenophobia, people who are anti-immigrant, and just trying to make a better life for her and her family in the United States. She puts a lot of pressure on herself, not only to get good grades, but to constantly excel and try to make it easier for her family, just try to give them a better life by just keeping her grades up, volunteering, trying to benefit herself and her community. So this is the type of fear that's focused on Jessica Cruz. This is a very humanizing. I did enjoy the book. Certain things I like and certain things I don't like, which I'm gonna get into very soon. One certain things I did like about this is that, one, if I'm gonna do a little compare to I'm Not Starfire, when you pick this one up, you're absolutely going to understand and relate to Jessica. Unlike I'm Not Starfire, where the main character was just absolutely not relatable and you really didn't understand her anger or her anxiety. Here we get a clear picture of what Jessica is afraid of. We get a clear picture of her plight, her anxieties, her fears, how she deals with it. And that's something that I thought worked way better compared to the previous book, from even though it's two different authors. But this is something I think this author strongly wanted to really get across, was her views on the anti-immigration laws and what is it like to paint a picture of undocumented immigrants such as as Jessica's parents, and what Jessica goes through with fear of people saying, hey, yeah, get these people out of the country and things like that. I'm not going on a whole political rant or where I stand with that stuff. That's neither here or there. Talks to Geeks is apolitical. So back to the story here. What I didn't like. This is becoming a little bit of a trend, and this is something that I think a lot of comic book writers need to start taking heed and seeing what the mainstream comic book writers are doing, and I think they need to take heed when it comes to the indies, is that in the indies, they understand the use of escapism. And while the story is good and it does have a message and it doesn't pertain to an important message, is that this could have been any character. This could have been any character. This could have been an original character that DC introduces, by the way. This is the problem I'm having. You're changing established characters with lore and things like that to get out a certain political viewpoint, political message, or whatever your theme that you're going for. But Jessica, you could have swiped this out and put somebody named like Maria Gomez or something like that, and you could have still had something solid here. But the fact that you're using an established character with already backstory, things like that, doing the reimagining, this could have been the author's platform for her to introduce a new character and could have gained for nice new backstory, new powers, and things like that. And this could have been something that could have springboarded the author, the artist, into something new, into a whole new IP for DC. That's my problem. We're taking characters that's already established, doing a reimagining, put a little political spin on it, so the author or creative team can get their viewpoint on it, and boom, that's it. Um, but that's probably my biggest gripe with the book. Art style wise, just like I'm not Starfire, I'm not a big fan of this type of art style. I do. I just feel like the art style's a little bland. The coloring, the use of it. But like I said, this art style's not for me. As I said, I'm not Starfire. This is catered to the younger generation audience. So this is something that this is the art style they like. So I think for them, this captures it very well. There are some good scenes in here as well. The use of Aztec gods, and there is a little bit Green Lantern elements in here, but the use to switch it up to Aztec gods, I think that worked because of the culture that Jessica is from. So it makes sense to include a little bit of the Mexican culture in that. So once again, it goes back to that theme of representation. So that does work in the realms of this story. Is this a good book? I would say it's a good read. Some of the dialogue is a bit cringy at times, but overall narrative of a character study. Well, like I said, this could have been any new Latino character. You didn't technically had to choose Jessica for this. You could have created a whole new thing, just have DC publish it out, and you could have started off something completely new for a new audience instead of just taking established characters. That's just my viewpoint on that. But overall, I did enjoy what I read. It's a nice character study piece. I felt that it went a little bit too long. Certain scenes, I feel like the anxiety was a little bit way too long. It seemed like every page, her fear at times was just really elevating more and more and more and more and more and more. There is some sad scenes in here where her dad does get taken by ice, which I did really enjoy. And I will say this to people who are opposing books like this, even though it's not my forte, I'm not really, for me, I think comics should be used for escapism, but there is room for books like this as well. I say go in there, read it with an open mind, pick it up. We don't do grades no more, so we either pick it up or we're skipping it. This one, I'll say pick it up because it is a nice character study. The author clearly does have something she wants to. The author clearly has something they want to get off their chest, or have the viewpoint of it, and using Jessica as that instrument in the story to have their voice heard. So I would say go in there with an open mind. I know, we don't pay attention to the whole comics gate, this and that here at ONG. I say everybody go in there with an open mind, give the book a chance. You might actually enjoy it. I say pick it up. I say give it a read. Give it a read and check it out. Form opinions for yourself and open your eyes to different perspectives and different voices. And this is Justin from tacosthegeeks.com. This has been our review of Unearthed, a Jessica Cruz story. And of course, you can like, share, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Hit that notification bell. Follow us on Instagram at tacosthegeeks.com. Twitch.tv/tacosthegeeks, Facebook.com/tacosthegeeks blog, but most importantly, visit tacosthegeeks.com. More reviews on the way. Definitely pick this one up, give it a read, give it a chance. You might be surprised. Nice character study. Dialogue is a little iffy. Artwork is not for me, but hey, live and learn, baby. Later days.